So in today's video, we're again taking inspiration from Hogan's book, The 5 Lessons. I still go through this book all of the time and end up picking up lots of little snippets of information and still get mesmerized by his level of understanding and his ability to demonstrate both of those things together. And there was something in and around the grip that really caught my eye that will help lots of you that are struggling with getting the club into the slot in the downswing. So let's get stuck right into it. So first of all, let's just clarify exactly what we mean by getting the club into the slot. It's really this sort of pre-delivery position. So once we've established the backswing, what we're looking to do is kind of get this synchronization where we're going to rotate our body, towards the target as we allow our arms to sort of drop down towards the side of the body. Now, the key thing here is the structure of the right arm. So as you can see that I sort of swing back, and as I start the downswing, what I'm doing is I'm allowing the upper part of my arm to move back towards the side of my body. But the key thing here as well is that I'm keeping the club on plane. Now, what this means is if I was going to imagine I'm hitting a shot down towards the driving range here and I draw this line here, this represents our plane line. Now, what happens in the plane line is in the takeaway, the club should run pretty much through it. Then as we go in towards the backswing position, it would run parallel to it. As it comes back down, it should run through it through the post, and then again it would run up and parallel through. You can't theoretically keep the club completely on plane throughout the whole swing because anatomically your body just won't let you do that. So there's going to be a period where we have a backswing where, should we say, the arms go up, and then sort of this idea of slotting the club basically means dropping the club back onto this plane line. This plane line is key. What we know with tour professional golfers or very good golfers is that they basically have a nice, should we say, shallow-ish plane line, right? What we tend to see with most amateurs is that they're much more vertical coming down for differing reasons, and one of them is due to the functionality of the right arm. So now that we understand this sort of concept of dropping the club and what it means relative to swinging the club on plane, Hogan's tip should make that job a lot easier. When I'm looking at somebody's golf grip, I'm not as interested in how rotated potentially the hands are. I'm more interested in terms of the functionality. So if I'm teaching a beginner golfer, I'm not saying you have to have your hand like this and you have to have your hand like this. What I would basically be saying is similar to the conversation we just had. Look, these are the sort of things your wrists are going to need to do in the golf swing. Therefore, it's best to build a golf grip around that to help you get into these positions. And again, that's what Hogan talks about. He talks about taking hold of the club, and in particular, taking away your forefinger and your thumb on that trail hand. And the idea of this is it will just improve the relationship of, one, the unison of the hands working together, but also just this ability to get the club moving down on plane. Now, if you were to practice this, you can practice it two ways. So the first way is you can work on it in your backswing. So if I sort of take hold of my club normally, and then I'm going to remove my forefinger and my thumb off the club entirely. So as I sort of go into this backswing position, what you should feel is that the way that the club shaft is falling on the forefinger knuckle. Okay, so that'd be like a pressure point that you'd want to be aware of in the backswing position. If you're somebody who gets the club shaft too vertical or your elbow lifts up too much, you're not going to get the feeling of the relationship of the weight of the club shaft falling on the knuckle, right underneath that sort of forefinger. And that's a really key thing, particularly in the backswing position. With a lot of students that I work with online lessons, and obviously people that come through that door, I tend to spend a lot of time trying to get the backswing sorted out because it makes the downswing so much easier. So if you're somebody who has a tendency to do a bit of this or this, again, that's why I'm pointing this video out. It's a really useful drill just to sort of almost pause at the top, and you can feel the weight of the club resting on that forefinger knuckle. Now, inevitably, as you start the downswing, you can kind of concentrate on letting your arms move down to the side of your body, okay, similar to this. But again, if you're kind of doing it nice and slowly, you can still feel the weight of the club resting on that forefinger knuckle like so. And as you come in towards this downswing, you'll almost just feel that club naturally release as you come down. Now again, if you're somebody who does this type of motion, you're going to start to feel a massive difference. So I think the understanding of that is perfect. I suppose the question is can you hit shots with it? And the answer would be yes. In fact, actually, I think it's a really good exercise that you could carry on through to lots of different skills. Like I say, if I kind of hold the club here and take my fingers off the club, I sort of swing it back, nice straight arms in the takeaway, let my sort of club rotate, feel the club shaft falling on the index finger, feel that maintain of pressure as I'm rotating through, and then I can kind of release my arms as I come in towards this downswing. So not only would I suggest that it's a great exercise just to practice with, I literally think you could stand there hitting lots of shots with it only improving your relationship of what the club shaft is doing in the golf swing. So practice it. Let me know how you get on. It'll help you get the club in the slot. It'll help you get that feeling of shallowing the golf club so the club drops more down this way. It'll make a massive, massive difference. I promise you that. I'll see you soon.